Hello students, welcome to online chemistry classes. In the last class we started learning about the types of chemical reactions based on their speed. We classified this reaction into three categories. The first being very fast reaction. We said that ionic reactions are the example of this type of reactions which occurs in nanosecond. Example we have given: aqueous sodium chloride when treated with aqueous silver nitrate, within the fraction of second, we call it as nanosecond, 10 raised to minus 9 seconds, immediately these two components mix up together, because sodium chloride is already Na plus Cl minus, silver nitrate is Ag plus and NO3 negative, and immediately they form AgCl precipitate and sodium nitrate. We said that these reactions are very difficult to study under the laboratory condition, so chemical kinetics does not deal with such very fast reactions. Another type of reaction we come across is very slow reaction, which may require days to complete, like setting of cement, or some months to complete, like rusting of iron, or some millions of years to complete, like formation of coal and petroleum. Chemical kinetics also does not deal with such reaction, as their rates cannot be conveniently measured in the laboratory condition. But third type of reaction, which we call them as moderate rate reaction, their studies can be done conveniently in the laboratory condition. Many examples are there. Whatever examples we come across in this topic are nothing but those whose rate is studied and that data is available. Example being the inversion of cane sugar, hydrolysis of starch, acid hydrolysis of methyl acetate. Some examples we have given, and we will come across many such examples when we learn this topic. Then after that, we started learning with one example. Hg plus Cl2 gives HgCl2. The example has 1 mole of mercury, 1 mole of chlorine, and 1 mole of mercury chloride. So we express the rate. But another example we have taken: 2 moles of hydrogen iodide gives 1 mole of H2 plus 1 mole of iodine. And we said that when we come across such reaction, the rate of reactions of this type, where stoichiometric coefficient of reactant and product is not equal to 1, how to express the rate? Rate of disappearance of reactant, rate of disappearance of product should be divided by their respective stoichiometric coefficient. We have done practice of it. We have taken various examples, and also we started solving some numerical questions. I have given you 3 questions as the homework. The one question is the solved example only, so that I will not solve now in this class. But another 2 examples, 3 examples in fact, I have given. Some in-text question I have mentioned. The in-text questions 4.1. I think you might have solved that question. If you have not solved that, I will write that example first, because I don't know whether you have seen this example in textbook. So the example is this: I am writing 4.1. This is unsolved question, in-text question. And in this example, there is one reaction. R, that is reactant, gives product. Concentration of reactant changes from concentration of reactant changes from changes from 0.03, capital M is nothing but mole per liter, to 0.02 mole per liter in 25 minutes in 25 minutes. Calculate average rate of reaction. Calculate average rate of reaction. Average rate of reaction using units of time. Using units of time in minutes and seconds. In minutes and seconds. So we have seen some 4 or 5 examples of exactly this type in the last class. So they have given the data here, the concentration changes, they have given time also, and they have asked us to calculate the average rate. So you can write average rate is equal to negative final molar concentration, initial molar concentration, final time, initial time. This we can write instead of delta change in molar concentration. This formula we can use directly. Now the negative sign, because we are expressing this rate in terms of reactant. So you can write this as negative 0.02 minus 0.03, and the time period is 25. So we can write this as this negative, because this 0.02 is smaller than 0.03, so it will be 0.01, negative 0.01, and this negative already. So it is 0.01 by 25. We can write this as 100. When we write 100, decimal point should be here 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 10 raised to minus 4, and then this 25. So you can say 4 into 10 raised to minus 4 mole per liter, and the unit is per minute. So this is one part of question we have done. Now another part is we have to calculate this rate in, they said to calculate this in seconds also. So you can write this as 4 into 10 raised to minus 4 mole per liter, which they have written capital M, that doesn't matter. It is minute, and they ask us in per second, so we can write this as 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So basically we are dividing this by this 60. I will write direct answer here, because the calculation is not that much difficult. You can do yourself. 6.66 into 10 raised to minus 6 is this answer we get. We can write this as capital M, and this is per second. So this is the way in which it can be converted as 400 into 10 raised to minus 6 by 60, and you can just see that 400 is 6.66 times of 60, and we can write the answer. So this is example number 4.1 we have completed. Now one more example I have given for homework. You can just pause and see how you have calculated and what answer you got, what answer we are at. Now another is the question number 4.2, which again I have given you as homework. 4.2, that is, there is a reaction, 2A gives product, 2A gives product, concentration of A decreases, concentration of A decreases from 0.5 mole per liter to 0.4 mole per liter in 10 minutes. Calculate rate of reaction. So they are not mentioned any specific units, so you can express it into mole per liter per minute. So you can say average rate is equal to, remember now, the stoichiometric coefficient of A is 2, so I write 1 by 2, and then I write minus delta A delta T, 1 by 2, and this we can write negative sign here. Molar concentration of A, final molar concentration, initial molar concentration, and this time difference. Final is 0.4, this is 0.5, and this happens in 10 minutes. So this negative and this negative becomes positive. This is 0.1 by 10. So we can say it is 0.1 by 20. We can convert this into 100, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 10 raised to minus 3 by 20. So it becomes 5 into 10 raised to minus 3. And we can write the unit mole per liter per minute. So this is the 4.2 example. One more question, additional question I have given. Yes, always it is easy. We have seen many such questions. We have to see the stoichiometric coefficient and substitute the values. Negative sign should be written because of molar concentration of reactants are given. So I hope that you are able to read this question correctly and you are identifying the correct data. Units are also equally important, always in numerical questions. One more additional question I have given. That question already I have written in last class on the board, so I will not write once again. So in that question there is a volume of drop of solution was given. I will write the terms which are given. Volume of drop of solution was given, that is 0.05 milliliter, and it contains 3 into 10 raised to minus 6 moles of H plus ions. So number of moles of H plus ions are given, 3 into 10 raised to minus 6 mole. If the rate of disappearance of H plus ion is given, rate of disappearance is given 1 into 10 raised to 7 mole per liter per second. Rate of disappearance of H plus ion is given 1 into 10 raised to 7 mole per liter per second. How long? Means they are asking T here. So we can write the formula. Rate of disappearance of H plus ion is equal to, we can say, change in concentration divided by the time, isn't it? We can use this formula. Now this is in seconds, this is in mole per liter per second, and this should be in mole per liter. They have given mole, we can convert that mole per liter. Mole per liter is nothing but molarity. It is nothing but this number of H plus ion. This I am writing for number of moles. Mass of substance divided by molar mass of substance, nothing but number of moles. 1000 volume in milliliter. This is 3 into 10 raised to minus 6. This 1000 and this is 0.05. This is the term we are getting here, which we can simplify it at 0.06 mole per liter per second. Mole per liter. Yes, this is the mole per liter. From where we got per liter? From this milliliter, 1000. Volume in liter divided by 1000. So that conversion factors convert it into mole per liter. It is molarity. Now we can write time is equal to concentration change divided by rate of disappearance of H plus ion. We just rearrange this. The concentration change is given here, which is 0.06 mole per liter, and rate of disappearance is 1 into 10 raised to 7 mole per liter per second. So you can write this as 6 into 10 raised to minus 2 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 7. It equals to minus 9 seconds. And minus second we can write it as nanosecond. We can write like that. So here in this question, they have given number of moles and volume. From that we converted that into molarity. Rate of disappearance, concentration change divided by time. We rearrange this for time and we calculated this. So just take one more additional question we have done here. So most important thing is that for every concept you should be able to solve solved examples, in test questions and exercise question of all the concept. We'll take them in all of them in due course of time, but this is the part which is important initially. Now we'll go ahead and we'll see the next aspect of the chemical kinetics. If you remember, we have defined chemical kinetics as branch of physical chemistry which deals with three things: rate of reaction. We understood now what is rate of reaction, what are important things: definition, formula, its unit, its way of expression and its calculation. We have done all of that. Now second is factors affecting rate of chemical reaction. So I will first initially mention those factors and I will explain one by one, because this direct 2-mark question has been asked. Mention the factors affecting the rate of chemical reaction. So I will write factor here and I will explain one by one. Factors affecting rate of reaction. Factors affecting rate of reaction. So the first factor is the concentration of reactants or reactant, if it is one reactant is there. Then is the nature of reactant. Third is the temperature. Fourth is the catalyst. And fifth is the light or radiation. In few chemical reaction, light also plays very important role. So I will explain this one by one. Of course, the complete topic in detail we have to learn the concentration of reactant, temperature and catalyst. Concentration of reactant in detail, and temperature and catalyst also, some introductory concepts are included in our syllabus. But factors are very simple: concentration of reactants, nature of reactants, temperature, catalyst, and the light or radiation. Just few sentences I will explain, because I have told you the complete syllabus is regarding the detailed concept, so just we have to mention here initially. So first, if we look at the concentration of reactant, concentration of reactants, what do you think about the relationship between rate of reaction and concentration of reactant? Whenever a chemical reaction takes place, how the reaction takes place, there are various theories involved into it. But well accepted theory is that there is a collision in the reactant molecules, they collide, and in that collision their old bonds are broken and new bonds are formed. But of course, every collision does not lead to formation of product. We'll go into detail of that. But you remember this simple word initially, that reactant molecules collides and they get themselves converted into the product. So you can say that when we increase the reactant concentration, the number of collisions increases, and that's why rate of reaction also increases. So this is one simple relationship we are establishing, that if we increase the reactant concentration, the number of collisions between reactant molecule increases, and this results into increase in rate of reaction. We have many experimental evidences to suggest this. We'll take simple example. We'll take magnesium, metal, active metal, and we react with this dilute HCl. We get this magnesium chloride salt, and this hydrogen is liberated. We'll carry out the same experiment now. Difference is, this is concentrated HCl, and we have this magnesium chloride, and products remain same. It doesn't mean that you change concentration and then product will be different. If you want different product, start with different reactant. That is the case. Again, hydrogen only released, but we can observe. It's not difficult reaction. You might have seen this reaction in school level also. That the rate, we call it as speed of release of hydrogen, rate or speed of release of hydrogen, because hydrogen is one of the product here, and we can see actually the bubbles comes out. The rate of speed of release of hydrogen is slow here. The bubble formation rate is slow here, and bubble formation rate here is fast. Now, how we can correlate this release of hydrogen is faster? Because we have taken one of the reactant concentrated, means reactant concentration we have increased, and it is slow because we have taken that into the diluted form. So increasing concentration of reactant, rate of reaction increases. We can observe one more thing to confirm this, that rate of reaction decreases as molar concentration of reactant decreases with time. So both are decreasing, means they are directly proportional. So we have this concept very clear that if concentration of reactant increases, rate of reaction increases. Of course, this is not that much simple. Very complex relationship we have to study in between the concentration of reactant and rate of reaction, but that we'll do it afterwards, after learning these factors. But in one sentence, the relationship is very clear. If you want to increase the rate of reaction, increase the concentration of reactant. This is the simple fact we are observing. Now another is the nature of reactant. I'll just stop here. I mentioned it. In the nature of reactant, we have to consider three things. First is the physical state of reactant. Physical state of reactant. Now we can answer this simple question. If we have same substance in gaseous state, liquid state and solid state, in which physical state it is more reactive? Not difficult question. You might have come across this question in your school level study also. The rate of reaction is greater in gaseous state compared to liquid state and the solid state. Why? Because in gaseous state, the molecules have more probability of intermixing, and if they have more probability of intermixing, they have more probability of collisions. If they have more collisions, possibility of effective collisions increases and the rate of reaction also increases. So you can say that if intermixing of reactants increases, rate of reaction increases. In gaseous state, it is greater than liquid state than in the solid state. So same substance is more reactive, or reaction will be faster when it is in gaseous state than liquid state than the solid state because of intermixing of reactant. This is about the physical state. Now the next factor in the same sub-factor we are learning, the chemical nature of reactant. Consider this similar reaction. Nitric oxide oxidized to nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide oxidized to carbon dioxide. The reactions seems to be similar. Yes, they are similar. They are oxidation reaction. But here substance involved is nitric oxide and here it is carbon monoxide. We can say that this reaction is relatively faster and this reaction is relatively slower reaction because the breaking of covalent bond in between nitrogen and oxygen is easier and carbon and oxygen is difficult depending on the electronegativity, depending on size. This factor depends, but thing is that even though we are carrying out the same type of reaction, oxidation reaction, both are the monoxides of non-metal, we can see the considerable difference in their rate of reaction. So chemical nature of the reactant decides the rate of reaction. In C we can say surface area of solid reactants. If reactant is solid, its surface area matters. If we have finely divided solid reactant. Finely divided means if we have this reactant, we have to make pieces of it. What happens if we make pieces of it? Initially, only this much area was available, exposed, see, to this reactant. But when we break this, like this broken area is also exposed now. So there is more possibility of exposure. So finally divided reactant, we can say surface area increases. Surface area increases. Then their intermixing is easier, and then we can say rate of reaction increases. So these are related things: finely divided solid reactant, surface area, intermixing, and rate of reaction. We can take simple example that if we have pieces of wood, small pieces of wood we have made, and log of wood, large piece, bigger piece of wood is there, and if we burn them differently, the pieces of wood burning, if we say burning is a chemical change, chemical reaction, then that will be faster, more efficient, because the same log of wood, now its surface area which get exposed to the fuel is greater than the log of wood. In recipes also, many times we prefer to have the powdered ingredient, because when ingredients are powdered, the intermixing of the ingredient will be proper, and that preparation will have different texture and it completes successfully. So the surface area of solid reactant is also very important factor. Then third factor we have mentioned is the temperature. Third factor we have mentioned is the temperature. This is our common understanding that in summer season at room temperature food gets spoiled easily because temperature is higher. If we keep it in refrigerator, we are decreasing the temperature and we are decreasing the speed of spoilage of food. So we can say that as temperature increases, rate of reaction increases. Now why this happens? We have to study it graphically, mathematically in due course of time, but we can imagine now that if temperature is greater, kinetic energy of molecule is greater, number of collisions are greater, possibility of number of effective collisions which converts into product is greater, and that's why rate of reaction is also greater. Statistically we can say that, of course this is not true for all reaction, but for most of the reaction it is true, that by increasing temperature by 10 degrees Celsius, rate of reaction increases by 2 times. This is one more generalization we can make. It means rate of reaction 298 K. We are taking 298 K as room temperature absolute scale, and rate of reaction at 308 K, we are increase it by 10 times. Then we can say that rate of reaction at 308 K, increasing 10 degrees nothing but increasing 10 K, is 2 times than the rate of reaction at 98 K. So the general observation, in some cases it may increase by 3 times also. So this is temperature. The fourth is the catalyst. We know that catalysts are those substances which increases the speed of chemical reaction by their presence. By just mere their presence, they increases the speed of reaction. They won't involve into the reaction and they do not undergo any chemical change in the reaction. Just like we give this example, your parents in your home, by their presence, your speed of study will increase. They won't study themselves, but if they are present and if they are attentive, you may have greater alertness in your study and your speed of study is increased. Of course, there are many students who do not require that much parents' attention, they study by themselves, but I am just giving this general example that the catalyst presence increases the speed of reaction. So we can say catalyst increases the rate of reaction. Generally, there are negative catalysts also, but for positive catalyst, rate of reaction increases. Now, how they are able to do that? There is one energy required for the reactant molecule to take part into chemical reaction. We call it as the activation energy. What catalyst does? Catalyst lowers this activation energy. They activate the reactant, we'll say like that, because again this activation energy is different concept, separately you have to study it, but they lowers it and they leads the reaction through new pathway, new course of reaction, which of course speeds up the reaction, that's why we use them, and increases the rate of reaction. We'll explain it graphically. That is also there in kinetics part, last part. And then last is light, or we say radiation. There are some type of reaction, we call them as photochemical reaction, which occurs in the presence of light. Speed of this reaction we can increase by increasing this nu means frequency of radiation. Photosynthesis, it also requires the presence of light. So light or radiation is required for photochemical reaction and they increases the rate of reaction by presence of light, and that is directly proportional to the frequency of radiation. So these 5 factors, they are very simple but they are very important. Nature of reactant, concentration of reactants, temperature, catalyst, light or radiation. So not detail, but at least one sentence you should be able to comment that how that particular factor affects the rate of reaction. Now, after completing these factors, we have to start learning now about the dependence of rate of reaction on concentration of reactants. How that dependence is there? We have just made one passing comment that rate of reaction increases when concentration of reactant increases. But how to look into it mathematically? How to look into it experimentally? That is important because we are learning chemical kinetics. So, dependence of rate of reaction on concentration of reactant is our next part. We'll consider simple reaction. AA plus BB gives product. We have learned the law of mass action last year in chemical equilibrium, which says that rate of reaction is directly proportional to product of active masses of reactants raised to powers equal to their stoichiometric coefficient. Of course, in the balanced chemical equation. So we can write this as R is equal to, is directly proportional to product. By product means multiplication here, mathematical product. Active masses, we can read this as molar concentrations. We are writing this in the square bracket. Of the reactants, reactants are A and B. Raised to, we have to write here some powers. And what type of powers we should write? Equal to their stoichiometric coefficient. A has this small stoichiometric coefficient, small a, and B has this B. So this is according to the law of mass action. Rate of reaction is directly proportional to product of molar concentration or active masses of the reactant raised to the powers equal to their stoichiometric coefficient. R equals to K A raised to A and B raised to B. This is proportionality constant. This K we have added as the proportionality constant. The K has three names. One is called as rate constant, another is called as velocity constant, and third is called as specific reaction rate. So very important in understanding the relation between rate of reaction and the concentration of reactant. This term, because it connects this. We have at one side of equation rate of reaction, at other side we have concentration of reactant, and relation between them is established by this proportionality constant. We call it as rate constant or velocity constant or specific reaction rate. How to define it? Just like many times you define the proportionality constant, that this K rate constant is equal to rate of reaction when molar concentration of the reactant, each reactant, every reactant is unity. If we have 1 here, 1 raised to any number becomes 1. If we have 1 here, raised to any number equals to 1. So R is equal to K into 1 into 1, R equals to K. So rate constant is equal to rate of reaction when molar concentration of each reactant is unity. This is the definition. Why it is called as rate constant? Because it is proportionality constant, which gives the relation between rate of reaction and concentration. Rate word can be substituted by velocity. And why it is called as specific reaction rate? Here's this word. Because this is rate of reaction under specific condition. And what is that specific condition? The molar concentration of each reactant term is equal to 1. So we have very important term we are coming across in this relationship. We should study this term in detail. We should know its characteristics, on which factor it depends, on which factor it is independent. So this is one, we can say, important clue to understand between the rate of reaction and the concentration of reactant. We'll try to learn about its properties and how to calculate this, what are its units in the next class. Thank you for watching.